the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening to Radio Underground. Shit.
All right, Radio Underground, and we are back after
impressive.
a week off. I'm Deathspit, and I got a very special guest this week. I had the same two guys last week. We got Pine, Kojak, but we also have Stones Malone, content creator on YouTube, and has some interesting stuff. And that's why we're going to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, the snowstorm, and shit like that. All right, guys, start yakking.
All right, well,
Hey.
snowstorm for us and
Is
probably
there-
a lot of the rest of the Midwest.
Is there like a catchy nickname for this snowstorm, like Snowmageddon or Snowpocalypse?
I call it cold as shit because I was cold as shit.
It's really
today.
not that bad considering it's mid-January and we haven't.
We had one day.
I would
of
This
rather-
is
snow.
the only day that I've seen anybody out with their snowblower.
I'm so
I'm going to
pissed
complain about the one day of snow. This is bullshit.
No.
I'm so
we got
pissed
ripped off by
so
getting
pissed
one
off
day of
this
snow.
One day I had to work on that one day too.
Yeah, and it's going to be back up into the 40s by I believe it's
Like Tuesday or something.
Yeah, but did you
Tuesday.
see the after that? It's back
Yeah,
to
it's
like
back to
5 as lows
shit.
and
I haven't seen that.
whatever. We
What
live in
day is that going to be?
we live in a northern state. It's to be expected. Anyway, guys, how the hell are you?
Yeah.
Good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kojak's drinking from the ceremonial goblet.
I do. I am drinking from a goblet. I'm hoping to get drunk enough to tolerate
I like those
this.
fucking $3 rhinestones they put in it. Like $3 for a 50-pound bag. Not
So what
$3
you're saying
Yeah,
is I can.
like-
So what you're saying is I can pawn this for $3?
No,
No?
you probably get you'll get 75 cents if you're lucky.
Hey,
If you get like a goth chick, maybe you get $1.
$20 is $20.
I think, honestly, I think they sell one like that at Party City. I don't think you need to pay $3.
Well,
That might be too much.
I guess I'm going with Dollar General.
Oh, yeah. Dollar
I
General.
spent a full hour trying to get our interface to where it can pick us all up, and
A full hour.
I was starting to be in the
generous.
flesh. I was not in the spirit at all. I was in the flesh.
Sir, you need a Miller Lite.
Yeah, real bad. I got a lot of flesh too. Okay? So when you have this much flesh, being in the flesh is a problem. Yeah. So anyway, I thought this week, since 3 of us really like Red Dead Redemption 2, Pine won't ignore his family and do the right thing.
Yeah. Is,
Yeah, I
it,
mean,
on, is it on sale yet? Like, I can get it cheap?
Okay.
Yes, you can get it cheap.
Well,
How
you're not,
about-
no, Rockstar games, they're like Nintendo games. They don't
I know,
really
like-
go down in price.
Like GTA 5,
don't
I
like-
swear to God, GTA 5 costs
Why are
more
we
now
talking
than it
about,
did then.
But why are we talking about Red Dead? Nobody plays that game.
Yeah. It's okay.
is
This
a
little
waste
niche
of
audience
time.
that we have, the little niche audience we're going to be talking to.
yeah.
It's only the greatest selling media of all time, but you know we might get a couple of them interested.
Can't believe that game is forcing me to put.
Somebody needs to mute their damn
Yeah,
phone.
mute it.
I'm sorry.
Kojak.
I'm telling you,
Yeah, but
Lord
I get
Lord
it,
Warmonger beckons me.
but you have to mute it though.
I know I got it
'Cause I don't
It's not
wanna hear-
muting, It's just it's turning it.
If I have to
Warmonger.
fucking listen to Five Finger Death Punch all night,
That's not
I'm gonna
5 Finger
fucking
Death
hang
Punch anymore.
myself.
Now I got to turn.
I'm
it.
gonna
Now I got to change my ringer. Now you ruined it for me.
Yep.
Anyway, so
The hierarchy of metal does not like my 5 Finger Death Punch.
Nope.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Why is it so
Do
great?
you like Five Finger Death Punch,
What do you-
Stones?
Do I like 5 Finger Death Punch?
Hold the mic
You
closer
wanna-
to
you
your
wanna-
beak, dude.
You want
Eat a little
to
bit.
venture to take a guess on that?
No, I didn't have to. I asked it knowing the answer.
Yeah. No. No. I mean, I don't have anything against them. I
It
don't
must be
really
terrible
like a
with
lot
the
of
military
stuff.
support.
So
You guys
Yeah.
hate the military, is what
so-
you're saying.
yeah.
Well,
We don't hate the military.
They clearly support the military, and you don't support them, so you don't support military. Whatever. Hillary Clinton lovers.
Yeah. So anyway,
If I wasn't so inebriated, I would probably have some kind of response to that. But I don't really care enough about 5 Finger Death Punch
Nope.
or any of it to get distracted from the subject at hand, which is Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'm going to turn on my Gloria Estefan ringtone.
What was the question again?
what makes it so great?
Oh, man. Well,
I know what makes it great to me, but I'm not here to talk. Just hear my own self.
yeah, pretend like
Yes, you are.
someone here has
No.
never played it, and you got to sell
wouldn't
them
have
on
five
that
well,
game.
it's
in your
if
house.
anybody's familiar with the show, I mean, the first thing that came to my mind when I started in on it was the show Westworld. If anybody's familiar with that,
Love that
that's
show.
That's the first thing that came to mind because I feel like
Shut
right
the
now
fucking door. When you come back in, shut the door.
that's my fault.
Oh.
I was out
Okay.
smoking.
Don't. Yeah, never mind.
So
you
wasn't
can yell
his
at
fault.
Kojak.
That's my bad. Yep. No, it's
I
all right.
shut
I'll
the-
take that.
I heard the wind
Go ahead and yell at
frickin'
him.
blew it open.
Yep.
Look, my hydraulics don't work.
No.
know.
Like
So-
anything in my house, my fucking house is falling apart.
Lord
Westworld.
Despot, have you heard of Home Depot?
Yeah, and look what happened when I tried to shop at Home Depot.
I suggest you might want to get a hold of the compound to help out with some of
I
that.
should have had you grab me one of my beers while you were out there.
I will get up and get
Anyways.
that for you, Mr. Malone.
All right.
So you
I'm
said
done-
Westworld,
I'm done
and then
screaming at people.
yeah.
No. So back to the point is it's
Literally.
like as close as you can get to living in the real Westworld. It's like a Wild West simulator, at least as close as you're going to get to it. You know, I mean, without like a VR experience or anything like that. Just the level of freedom that you have, the level of immersion that you get, particularly when you combine the fact that, I mean, the story is incredible. Obviously, I prefer the story mode to the online multiplayer thus far. Are they still in the beta phase? That's what I'm
thought-
curious. I haven't played multiplayer in a while.
I
in a
tried
while,
to play it's still beta phase, but I tried to play the online, and it just
Oh, so we're talking about my department now.
it wasn't good.
It-
I didn't like it.
I think it's good. It's far from perfect.
I played like 3 hours on it, and I just couldn't take it. Every time you went, some fucking kids snapped you up. You couldn't.
So
move, you
apparently,
couldn't-
all three of us need to get on there as a what do they call
Well,
it?
a posse,
a gang,
a posse.
A
But
clan?
We need a
Here's
we
the
need a
thing.
posse up
Let's
together.
he switched
let's-
over to PlayStation. He's part of the other team.
Yeah,
Listen here, other
I'm
team.
jumping
Come on back.
I
Come
mean,
on
hey,
back.
look, dude, I have to say. I mean, look, I
Be
I
careful
talked
what
about
you say,
this.
sir.
I talked about this in the
Like-
last video that I did when I reviewed the
I'd be
Resident
more
Evil
offended
demo.
than if we talked about politics. So be careful.
Yes,
Yeah,
be very careful.
Well, I'm about to piss two guys in this room off at least.
I'm
I mean,
indifferent.
when I
He's
reviewed
huge,
the
he's a Switch guy.
Resident Evil demo, okay, and I noticed the same thing with the Red Dead. I played it a little bit because Mr. Lord Deathspit was kind enough as to bestow upon me a PS4 that I did not have to pay for, and before he did that, I downloaded the Red Dead Redemption for the Xbox One. Now, I don't have money for an Xbox One X. I don't have money for a PS4 Pro. So I'm playing, my experience is on like the base systems, right? The ones that have, the crappiest versions, okay?
Yeah.
So now I can't speak to the quality of the One X or the PS4 Pro, but I
The
can
One
tell
X, you mean the best quality?
Yeah.
Right,
mean,
yeah.
the best
I mean,
gaming
and I don't
system.
even think that's arguable.
The
I
best
think
people.
almost anybody, even the PS4 fanboys, will kind of concede to the fact, especially within Red Dead Redemption 2, the Xbox One X version is superior to all
you
other
have
versions.
made so many enemies tonight.
That's right. You guys heard it.
Now, at the same time, when you're talking about the base models, like the regular, I feel like Microsoft has dumped all their eggs into the Xbox One X basket, and maybe that makes sense. That's fine. But by far, like, you can tell, there's a big difference between the Xbox One OG version versus the PS4 OG version. There is a clear difference in frame rate. There's a clear difference in pixels. Everything looks better on the, and it's the same thing with
I have a
Resident Evil.
rebuttal.
But let's
So-
talk
No.
about posseing up
My
That's a good
on the
rebuttal.
Xbox.
Lord Despot, that is a good rebuttal.
Okay.
No, the OG PS4 has a dedicated GPU where the day one has a just a APU, which means it's all like one, like the graphics card and the processor is one thing.
I bought my Xbox One a year after you guys because I'm way behind.
Oh, you have an
guys.
Xbox One, Pine?
It's weird
But
'cause
mine's the
you're
one
never fucking
terabyte.
on it.
Mine's the one
I've never
terabyte
seen,
version.
I've never seen you. I mean, we play all the time. I've never
so
seen you.
mine was a
anywhere.
year newer than yours, and it's a
Playing
1
Castle
terabyte version.
Crashers?
I don't know if that makes a difference.
That's the Xbox One S,
nope,
correct?
nope. It was before the S even
He
came
has
out.
the One S.
Yeah, I don't have the One S.
No,
Bought a One S.
You shut
This
up. I
was
don't know
straight
what
up
I
just
have.
the
just bought
Xbox
the
One.
One
I
S.
just bought things. I don't know.
I don't
buy it.
understand the difference between the One S and the One. I know the One X is superior to all of them.
The One S has the same basic guts as the day one.
Bigger hard drive, right?
It's the same. Everything's the same, except it's way smaller, and it renders 4K like Netflix and visuals.
I do have 4K.
So you can have a 4K Blu-ray on it.
Everything's 4K on my TV.
And PlayStation, who's the god of everything, and they beat us in every possible way, still doesn't have 4K.
Except
and
the
they're pro.
Olympics. Except the
Boom.
Olympics.
Okay, I have 4K with my dick on that right now.
I'm seeing
Nah,
it.
but
That
4K.
made
No, but
sense.
seriously, dude, I will say this. Because PlayStation has Bloodborne and we're Souls fans,
I mean, I can never talk bad about it because of Bloodborne, because Dark Souls is
Bloodborne
where it
is my favorite exclusive.
and the greatest
Bar
human
none,
being
period.
to ever create a video game.
No, dude, the guy, I can't say his name right.
No, it's
Mitsugaki or whatever.
It's Misasaki Kawaguchi.
He's the king developer, and he's Japanese, and he hooked his buddies up at Sony, and he gave them my favorite exclusive.
Yes. That actually made me consider buying a PS4. I
have one. You can borrow it.
I would love to borrow it just to play that game because obviously Dark Souls is the greatest game that ever created by man.
And my nephew, who's in the other room, he's starting to gravitate towards the PS4. I feel like I'm losing him. Like he's becoming a liberal
Give it
or something.
to me.
He's becoming-
I will
I
unlimited him.
find that there is, it's not to get into politics, but I find that it is an interesting dichotomy. It does seem to be the case that the right tends to lean toward the Microsoft, and maybe it's because foreigners and Americans. I don't know what it is, but a lot of my
man's
more
problem.
liberal friends definitely.
What
tend
color
to,
are we talking about
Yeah,
first,
so-
Stones?
But no, I mean for me, it's,
No, but
it's honestly.
seriously.
I tell you what. Let me just kind of segue. I'm going to get off track for a second, but I have to talk about this for the very, very small. Look, I don't know how big an audience we have in the first place, but
6.
and
so
I tell you,
listened
among
to it
that
4
audience,
times, though.
the people.
Us 4.
The people that will be interested in what I'm about to say is probably one, and that's me. But my favorite exclusive,
Can't wait to hear
the thing
yourself,
that
hear
really
yourself.
and I tell you what, I'm going to make my fucking friend,
I'm gonna make
my friend, we'll call him Chad.
Is this going to be about Last of
gonna
Us?
call him
We'll call him Chad. We're not going to say his real name, but I'm going to make him listen to this. But anyway, he's one of the guys. When we were teenagers, okay, I know, and we're talking about console
we're
wars
talking
and stuff,
way
right?
back.
Let's go back in time a little bit. Okay, so PlayStation was all the rage amongst everybody when it came out,
Yep.
and very few people gave two shits about the Sega Saturn. I, for one, was somebody who actually preferred the Sega Saturn because I always liked fighting games, and Sega.
Hallelujah,
had
brother.
They had the lock on 2D fighting, Street Fighter Alpha, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. All those games performed
Virtua
10
Fighter?
times
He
better
ain't lying.
on the fucking Sega Saturn than they did on the PlayStation. Now, there's a game that a lot of people don't know about. The greatest pro wrestling game in the history of pro wrestling.
Oh Lord!
is
Now we're getting off track.
I know where you're going.
Now we're
fucking
getting
Fire
off track.
Pro Wrestling. The Fire Pro Wrestling series is the best. They're the best wrestling games you
And
could ever
you keep
fucking
posting clips for it.
get. Yes,
You dork.
So
Yes, that's terrible.
now
No, I don't-
that's the fucking
No.
and the PlayStation's
Stone.
got that available, and you
Stones,
can't get it on
though,
Xbox.
that game is horrible.
You have never
game is
played
aw-
that game.
There
can
is
suck
a reason.
my balls.
There's a reason why one person understands what you're saying because
No,
nobody played that
no,
stupid
no.
game.
You
That
go
was a terrible
ahead
game.
and fucking Google that shit, and you
I don't-
fucking find.
I
you
have
want
to
the
Google
fucking,
it. We all know video games. I have to Google this one, and your one friend. I'll have your one friend.
You know what?
Google
There's
it.
a lot of bands that you'd have to Google that are fucking 10 times better than Five Finger fucking Death Punch.
Do not
you
strike me in my nuts, sir,
it's
because
called-
I dissed your damn stupid
Yeah,
game.
no. So this is an elite. You have to actually appreciate fucking like
Shit.
the level
Fighting.
of depth that is involved with the edit mode. I mean, there's so and look. Let's just fucking. I'm going to appeal to your nostalgia.
I was-
you know,
no, I was
okay,
on board
now,
with you
We're
with-
all about the
with
same
all the
age.
fighting
Everybody's
games.
been in their late 30s, early 40s here. So
What? Late
you go
30s?
back to fucking 1990, I guess. I don't know.
This is a way of saying that they're
when you're
both pinned at
going
the
to
fucking
local
very
fucking
end of the
arcade
30s.
and
Not
you got
40.
WrestleFest. Everybody remembers. You got to remember WrestleFest, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Those
do.
coin-op
Justify
games
with a
in the
shit
fuck-
video game.
Come on, man. You got no level of nostalgia. You don't like those old fucking Super Nintendo
love
fucking or
them.
old arcade.
I love them.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's wrong with it, man?
Stones,
And-
I am on board with you with everything you said.
Except
that fucking.
You got no fucking clue, man.
I'm like I said, I
You got to get into it. I'll fucking teach you how to play that goddamn game. You'll change your tune
Well,
real
if you
fucking
can
fast.
teach me how to hit 2 buttons and
No,
maybe do a power
it's
slam.
not
The thing
fucking
is,
2 buttons,
he
dude. It's
still
all about
isn't
timing.
completely done with Red Dead, so I can't go like balls deep
Yes,
into
you
what
can.
happens.
I can handle spoilers.
No, I don't want to give the fucking spoilers.
I can handle spoilers.
I haven't even touched
Arthur
it yet.
started coughing yet.
Arthur Morgan fucks John Marston's wife, and John.
You telling me
beats him
Arthur
and
died?
fucking-
Are you telling me Arthur's dying?
Yeah.
The author of the
author,
book.
As he started,
the guy who wrote it.
You remember Tombstone, Doc Holliday?
Oh, Jesus
there you go. There's your
Christ.
spoiler.
Is Arthur going
Tuberculosis?
Yeah, there's
Why
your
would you
spoiler.
spoil that for me?
You told me
So-
to let you spoil it.
You're listening. This is the first time you listen to me as a spoiler.
Listen, you fuck off with the look. You can make Winnie the Pooh.
I cried.
In this
I
fucking
cried
wrestling
because
game.
I was
Killed
like
the
12
Make
mafia
him
boss
fight
and I was
Spider-Man.
hunting the gator.
Still talking about the wrestling
Nobody's
game.
fucking listening to me right now. You can give him the most ridiculous voices. Dude, I remember back in 1997, I made Sinbad, the fucking comedian.
Yeah.
And he
I
had the
made a
best
child.
fucking kung fu moves and the most ridiculous noises he could make with his mouth.
You used Winnie the Pooh
Yes.
to beat Roddy Piper. Up
He was
in
in
that.
house guest.
Anyway, I'll drop the
But
shit.
but
we, know
all
back,
seri-
we were
all
talking
ser-
about Red Dead initially, right?
No. We can keep talking about this game.
All seriousness aside, as much as I am a total Xbox One fanboy, when people come up to me like and they don't know anything about gaming, like, well, what should I get? And I know they're not going to play online with me. They're just like, me and my wife want to play some cool games. I tell them PS4 because it's simple. It's just they plug it in and they play.
What the shit are you talking
But if
about
they got
right now?
kids,
I would
it's
say
the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
If you got
Yeah,
kids,
if you got
man,
kids.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I mean, I think
If you got
the
kids, you hand them
Xbox is-
lawn darts and say, have a good time.
I
you got
think
kids,
they're both
it's diet and
pretty
exercise.
straightforward.
'Cause we got a
Diet and
fucking
exercise.
problem
I
in
don't
this
see
country.
where either one would be harder or easier than the other.
No, I
Lawn
think
darts,
it depends
lawn
on
darts and shovel some snow, boy.
I think it depends on just what you're more comfortable. I mean, like the Xbox controllers, it's weird. Like when I play Red Dead on the PlayStation, I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. I prefer the Xbox controller to the PS4 controller for that. But when it comes to fighting games, for whatever reason, and like certain, I don't know. It all depends. I could go either or. It really depends on the game we're talking about. I do, even though the PS4 Red Dead, like the two versions that I have. The PS4 is superior to the OG Xbox. I still play the OG Xbox because I just like the way the controls feel better on the Xbox controller.
I kind of see what you're saying there, though, because the PS controller it's a real slimmer. It's the slimmer controller. Kind of doesn't take up much of your hand space in that.
The one thing I hate about the PS4 controller is like the options button or you back in the old days it used to be
going.
pause and select.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to fucking hit them, but I do like that what do you call that fucking button in the bit? It's like the swipe pad or whatever, the touch screen pad.
The PS. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't
There's the
own-
share
I don't
button,
own
and then
two
there's like the
systems.
pause button, whatever.
Communist over at
The big
PlayStation.
fucking
I'm a
button in the
popper.
middle that you
I
can
don't have
swipe
two
on.
systems.
I like that, but I don't know. It's just something about the PS4 controller felt weird when I was trying to play Red Dead. I don't know
Horizon
why.
Zero Dawn. You got to borrow my
Listen,
PS4
I don't
to play
own,
that. That
I
is a
don't
good
own
game.
both these systems. I only have 4 Xboxes. That's it. I don't
Speaking
have
of-
I can't afford a PlayStation.
I have all.
I can talk about
consoles.
Red.
I have all, and I got 2 Xboxes. I got everything, except for I tried PC games.
Lord
Like literally, people
Gaspit
go on
is
about everything.
easy
The
money.
only one I couldn't get into, like I just couldn't do, and everyone's like, "It's the thing for you. You're an older guy. I'm older. Like there's no kids yapping in your ear." And I tried to play PC. I couldn't do it. It sucked. I didn't like it.
I think if I had the money for the initial investment for the equipment and everything, maybe.
Yeah,
What do you mean equipment?
it means like the tower and everything.
I just saw a link on
They
in
do
my
got good
newsfeed on
prices on Steam
Facebook,
on games,
and
so.
then this
Really
take it
good
with a
price.
grain of salt because I don't know how
Why?
I don't know how they did this study, but
Why
apparently
would you go to
Xbox
Steam?
Shut up and let him talk.
apparently Xbox players have better hand-eye coordination than PC or PS4.
Of course,
gamers.
they
I
hook
saw
up
that.
the mutant over here.
Are you familiar with the same
I
article?
saw the same
think
article,
so,
yeah.
but I will say he's.
And I
quite
thought it
gifted.
was interesting.
I was going to share it with a bunch of people who are PS4 snobs.
Yeah,
You
well,
can look
but
me
no,
up on Xbox.
most of the PS4 snobs are nothing compared to the PC Master Race. Snobs.
Oh, God.
You
Do not
I
even
have to, I have
speak
to
of
just
the
turn
PC
around
Master
and
Race.
walk away anytime somebody starts going into that shit. I personally, I grew up. Look, I grew up with Nintendo and Genesis and Super Nintendo and all, like, with the controller in my fucking hand. I can't get used to. That's just me. I didn't grow up with a
Listen,
computer.
David
I wasn't
Duke.
playing Doom and
We don't play.
Wolfenstein.
We don't play PC, David Duke.
Well, a lot of them.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. A lot of them
Duke has
that I
nothing to do
know,
with
the PC guys, they have Xbox and PlayStation type controllers they use on their PCs.
Well, but most hardcore PC gamers.
Oh, yeah, it's
do
gotta be
not
mouse-
use controllers.
mouse and keyboard.
It's mouse and keyboard, and I gotta believe
for
there's
fighting
something
games.
to that.
Some of them.
But for me, I can't get the feel for
Can't
it.
I
I
get
don't
used
know.
to it.
I don't know.
Are you doing back pain?
Pardon me. I'm gonna go step outside and feed my nicotine addiction for about 30 seconds here.
Bear pelt. Guy's like, sorry, homie, it's not a bear pelt. So I got to ride my stupid Arabian horse to the mountain range, and I got to hunt down a grizzly bear for a bear pelt, which I have shot many times, and they laugh at me. Either they kill me, which I fight for my life when he comes at me, or he runs away, and I got to shoot him 80 times, and it's not a perfect it's not a perfect pelt anymore.
You got to shoot him 80 times and
What you need to do is you need to you get your binoculars out.
Tell
and
us how to do a perfect
yeah,
pelt because
so
I've never got one.
Here's
I'm
the
gonna
key.
be honest.
Here's the key to
Never
getting a perfect pelt. You go out. You get your binoculars
Oh,
out,
for
okay, and you go to the hot spots wherever you know. You can Google where these animals spawn. Okay?
I have, sir.
And
I have.
you get your fucking goggles, your binoculars, right? And you can see whether they're a 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the easy
So
part.
That's okay. So fair enough. So you don't fuck with a 1-star. You don't fuck with a 2-star. You fuck with a 3-star. Now, here's the thing that they don't tell you: you can get an imperfect kill and still get a perfect pelt.
Yes, I have the trinket that makes it a better.
No, not with fuck the trinket. You can still get an imperfect kill and get a perfect pelt. You can get
Without the trinket?
Yes, you can.
He speaks
So-
nonsense.
No, I don't speak nonsense. I mean, anybody can Google the shit. And
He speaks
prove me
from
wrong.
experience.
Speak the
You
truth,
obviously
Pat.
you want to get a
XP.
headshot. You want to get something that's an instant kill. But and it is very, very. I don't know that I've ever gotten a perfect pelt off of any kill that wasn't a one-shot kill. But you can skin a bear or any animal for that matter, and it might register as a 2-star animal, but the pelt itself may still register as a 3-star. That's all a matter of luck. But the ideal way to get a 3-star pelt, a perfect pelt, is to find a 3-star animal. And if you don't find that 3-star animal, you're not going to get
Yes.
a 3-star pelt.
I have taken many time to just sit there and look for a 3-star
bolt action
animal,
rifle.
and I've used the
Bolt
scoped
action rifle
rifles.
is the I've found better than the sniper rifles, better than the Carcano,
is.
better than the rolling block. The bolt action, you roll up, get a little close, put yourself at risk, get the headshot.
But-
See, I've never used the bolt action.
But
so
here's the
that's
direct problem
there.
I'm having. The direct
That is the
issue
secret, bolt
is
action.
a perfect bear pelt, which so far I've only found that grizzlies are the only ones that will give you a bear
Yeah,
pelt.
see, I'm not. I guess that I'm sure you're right.
What's the
I've
point of
never
putting
run
black
into-
bears in the game? It's got a problem because of the black.
Affirmative.
Problem? Is that,
No, never mind.
we got a problem here.
The interesting thing is,
Listen,
I
vote
will
in
say
the
the
masses.
one thing that game has done, and it's fucking incredible, that how they studied. The black bears never do a mock charge.
No, they run.
No,
They
don't.
run.
They run.
Right? They run when they get intimidated, and they attack when they feel the need to attack. But a grizzly bear will do a mock charge.
Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
black
That
ones
is,
chase
they
you up a
were
tree.
watching some
And
fucking
it
BBC,
has fucking
Discovery
murdered
Channel
me.
shit. And you know what? There's an achievement you can get in that game for, I forget, something ridiculous,
No,
like
you
being
survived,
attacked
you
and
survived
survive.
10 bear attacks and
I've
kill it.
never had that
What do you
problem.
think
I've
about
never
people
been.
that
I've,
only do the bare minimum?
I've only, I've been attacked like maybe twice in all my playthroughs.
Twice?
Yeah, twice.
Did
I
you
never
do the
let the
fishing?
bear. I kill it.
Stones,
or-
did you do the fishing?
I don't like to fuck with the fishing as much.
See, I'm
I've-
the only one that did the fishing.
I did some of it.
So you're an
I
expert.
find that a little bit.
Out of
well,
all
let
of
me
us.
tell you about my angling exploits. No.
Yeah,
Since
I'm not,
a
I'm
grand
not-
total of no one cares. But
Because
hear you go
no,
again.
because the fishing.
If it doesn't involve
need to-
guns,
It's weird.
Classic
I'm
supernatural
not as,
witch.
Yeah.
interested.
we're going to go in and out on this recording. We're just going to have to accept it.
But I'm just going to make the clear point here. None of this matters because Mortal Kombat 11's coming out.
There you were.
Nothing matters in the long run. We're all just
Waiting for Mortal Kombat 11. I agree,
fauna and
Stones.
flora and yeah,
So-
no.
So I politically correct term. I jerry rigged something so 4 mics could be on this,
Yeah, you can't say politically correct because you just ruined it.
but you can't say
You just implied the term
Yeah.
that you wanted to
Yeah, good
stray
job,
from.
Yeah.
Lord Death Spit.
I wouldn't want to say that word with no one around. You know,
Well, people named Jerry might be pissed.
Yeah.
because I don't want to offend people named Jerry.
And is it Jerry with the G
Well,
or a J?
Jerry's are pretty. Most Jerry's are redheads.
We'll just go
And then
with
you got
G
the
because
ginger
I don't know that
problem.
many Jerry's.
Jerry's
named
really
G.
political. He's always mandering.
Jerry's with a G.
All right, we're gonna edit this all out. We're gonna edit.
No, you never. I completely agree. You should edit out every bit of fun.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm an anti-funite.
Take your heart pills and shut up.
I did earlier. Took them.
Your stress is that of a teenage girl on prom night. Let us know when
All
you're
right, man.
All right.
So we're
back. All right. Stones Malone.
Yes, sir.
I have heard once upon a time you're a fighting game guy.
Yes, I am. Oh, I was.
Was.
I
Before he
was.
blew out
I
his
still.
knee.
It's like it's
Took
like
an arrow to the knee.
Before you bleed your knee out.
Yeah, right. No, I back in the '90s, when Killer Instinct and Tekken 3
In that really bad wrestling game you were talking about.
Yeah, well, that's not really a fighting game. That's a wrestling game. There's a difference, big difference.
work.
No, I I used to pride myself in being on a high level when it came to Marvel vs. Capcom and Tekken 3. Those two games, anyhow. And since then, time goes by. I'm not 15 forever, right? And I don't have the time to dedicate myself to learning all the ins and outs of every fighting game. Look, and the
It's
bottom line
in
is this:
you or
it's a
it's not
global
in you.
scale now, right? So when you're playing on consoles, and you're
Did you
playing
say
online,
scale?
you're playing with the fucking world.
Trying to insult
And
me.
back in. I mean, we got people talking and laughing in the background, and I don't know what the fuck's
I'm
going
just.
on.
I just said you said scale.
You said scale.
and it triggered me.
Yeah. Trigger. You can see
No.
No, but seriously,
Trigger
yeah, it's
scale.
a,
Now you're playing against the
No,
world.
I mean, yeah. So, like, back in, 1996, 1997, when I was, 17 years old, I would go to the local arcade. I would drop 50 cents down, and I would be there for 4 or 5 hours. Nobody could
That's
fucking beat
it?
me. Yeah, right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
try to fucking overshadow me. But that's the way it was. I could go into Tekken 3
Life's
and
unfair
fucking have a
sometimes.
line of people trying to beat me. Now, that's the local assholes at the fucking, Butterfly or the fucking, whatever local arcade you were at. Now, I go online these days. You're competing on a global scale, of course. So the level of competition changes. And yeah, holy
so
fuck! It's
so
a
you
different
go
world.
from like a district champion
I went
of
yeah,
your
exactly.
county,
Big fish,
to
small
going
ponds.
against
Exactly.
going to the state championships, then the national championships.
It's like if
then
I
a
was the
world
high school
championship.
wrestling standout in my high school, and then I tried to fight John Jones. Right, you're talking a fucking whole different level of competition, and so, and on top of that, I'm out of practice. I don't get into fighting games like I used to. So now I know what Kojak's trying to do. He's trying to
Jack
fucking
can
goad me into a
out-DUI John Jones any day
conversation
of the week.
to.
Listen, I'm not doing anything. I was just. You said
Yeah,
you're a fighting
yeah,
game
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I'm a
He's
fighting
a,
game
he's a
guy
fighting
too.
game guy, and I used
have
to be a
beat the number
fighting
one
game guy, and
Fighter in the world
we've had a
all the
few
time.
encounters on Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat fucking X or whatever, and yeah, he gets the better of me. I like those games, but I here's the problem. I start dabbling in those games, and all of a sudden I realize, like, oh fuck, this fire that used to exist in me, it's coming back, and now I'm
Yes.
actually beating some fucking people
Yes.
globally. Like, I'm actually doing all right. I'll go into a fucking lobby and I'll fucking win 70% of the matches. Now I start getting these fucking delusions of grandeur that I can
Yes.
be somebody, and then I get totally fucking sucked into that world, and then I get trounced by somebody who I'm.
A
It's like
12-year-old.
I get used to fucking. I get used to kicking people's asses, and now I run into a guy who I have no prayer of fucking beating, but then I can't handle it mentally.
You-
like I
you
have
thoughts
to
and
keep
prayers.
trying and trying and trying, and I get stressed, and my anxiety starts to build.
No.
And it's like, why the fuck am I doing this with my
Because
life?
you get mad when
I
you lose,
try-
and you throw
my
your
goal-
iPhone across the room and
Yeah.
smash things
Look,
and yell at your
my
children.
goal. At this stage, I'm 30. I'm going to be 39 years old. And I want peace. Okay, when I turn on my console,
There's only
I
peace
want,
through victory. Have you not read Hitler's writing?
I'm trying to get away from the stress, and I like competition, but I don't like it when I'm not winning. So
Yeah.
it just I don't know. I that's where I like to fall back on games like The Last of Us,
Yeah.
or Fable, or single player
You're
games.
just kind of going at your own
where
pace.
we can like share our experiences with each other and say, "Hey, there's
Well,
no
even
winners
Red
or
Dead
losers."
2, the story. Like,
Any what?
Red Dead 2, the story.
Yeah,
mission.
exactly.
It's not like it's not super. Well, like I told you, I like Red Dead 2, the story, but on the online, I just kept getting the shit beat out of me. I'd run anywhere and I'd get like lit up, and then here come the posse of whoever, and they just light me up.
One
and-
thing I will say, to Frank's point about fighting games, I think there is no better genre of gaming to test yourself against. Because we can talk about like first-person shooters. We can talk about any kind of shooter, like even in Red Dead, GTA, whatever, Call of Duty. There's always that element of luck that you can blame your loss on. Whereas in fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Street Fighter, there's not a lot of room
Oh,
for
he
you to
blames
make
a lot of
excuses.
things.
No, what you
He's an
mean?
excuse machine.
You need to replace luck
Okay,
by what you're trying to say is with all these other shooter games and things like that. It's a team effort. You can blame other people or a
Exactly.
weakness,
Which
a
you
weak
do,
link
which you
somewhere,
do.
which I do clearly because I play with weak links all the time. Yeah. So
I'm
in
not a,
You do
fighting
it to the
games,
people that are better than you.
in fighting games, it's you and him, and that's it.
That's it.
He's
And-
flag
and-
switching me or
and
whatever.
there's
There's nobody
so
to blame but
many
their
layers.
laggy fucking connection, and you only lose because they have a shitty connection.
maybe your connection's laggy.
Maybe son, have you not seen my connection?
Kojak has never lost legitimately in his career.
Never.
I don't play the
Never.
fighting game.
I have lost iPhones, wives, and tables.
You know how when you play Call of Duty and you're playing online, you have different levels of people too. You have somebody that's prestiged up and all this other stuff.
Yes.
You don't have that in a fighting game. You can't.
Nope.
You can't.
Well,
Retrofit
you
your guy with
can
different
if you
things.
You
choose to
stand-
go that route. Now, Frank, obviously, we're not going to.
Yes, we have real names.
Yeah. All right.
I think
whatever.
is there any point even going by our aliases anymore?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we can try, but sometimes
Well, whatever.
we'll fail. And
Well, and it's not like people are like, "Hey, your name's Frank. I'm gonna kill you."
I'm tracking you down.
Okay, I gotta admit it. That's my issue. I'm trying to do the anonymous thing. You can find me in a second and kill me. I get it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dad.
Look. Nobody. We're not issuing last names. Stones Malone. My name's Matt.
Not
I'm the
this
only
time.
human
Who
being on
gives a
earth named
shit?
Frank.
But all right. So what I was trying to say is, I forgot what I was trying to say. Shit,
We're
what was
talking
I
about the
trying to
fighting.
say?
I said
We're
something
talking
about
We're
the
talking about
games.
fighting games, and stuff.
prestiging up, but you can't really do
Oh
it.
yeah. You know as well as I do. There's two schools of thought when it comes to, but especially
Absolutely.
because I feel like and even in the fighting game realm, you can talk about you can play Street Fighter, or you can play Mortal Kombat, or you can play Injustice, and so Mortal Kombat and Injustice, that's the NetherRealm. What's
Yeah,
what?
it's another realm studio.
Yeah, it's
a cream of the
NRS.
crop.
NRS. That's what they call. So it's a totally different camp than Street Fighter, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, totally different. fucking
Street
camp.
Fight is a
so
bunch of
now
Asian
in
dorks.
the NRS
No,
camp.
Street Fighter, how the fighting game progresses and how it's
And how you play
Street
it, how
Fighter's
you
not even
approach
the same.
it.
It's not even the same.
It's two totally different sports. So we were talking about NRS. We talk about there's two different schools of philosophy. You can have the what do you call it? Like the-
zoners.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
not
people
talking
who
about
play without
tactics.
like the upgrades and people who play with the upgrades. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and so Injustice. That's the bulk of my experience. I have dabbled in Mortal Kombat, but so you can like as you play Injustice, you can unlock different like parts of gear to cater toward defense or offense or whatever. and you can go up against other people with all your acquired gear.
And those other
you can-
people
and that's,
don't
and that,
have the unlocks.
It adds a different element to where you can potentially pay to win. Whereas if you play without the gear modes enabled, it's pure.
I thought
no
they-
special moves.
I thought the gears
no,
was how you allocate that as you beat people
No,
up.
no, it's totally
You
random.
can do it in single
but that
player
it's
mode.
also only is Injustice.
I don't know. I don't play fighting games.
See, I
don't
can't
even-
remember
I-
if Mortal
No.
Kombat had that.
Mortal
involved or
Kombat
not.
doesn't have a spec of that.
This is like
It's
me
only
talking about
Injustice.
CrossFit or marathons.
And you can-
I'm out of my element really bad. I just don't know that.
Let's not disinterest most of our audience with our video game.
No,
Badass.
no one cares.
Well, this is the video game
That-
themed podcast, as far as I can tell so
Well,
far.
that's
That's
fine.
all
So
we've been
That's-
talking
we can
about.
talk about video games all we want.
So if we have any fighting game people in the house,
Throw out your gamer tag.
It's you and me.
that sounds stupid if I throw it out there.
No, throw out your gamer tag. See if they can take you.
LLL space COJACK space LLL.
Because some idiot who doesn't even know who Kojak is took the actual Kojak, so you had to go with that.
Yeah, I had to change it up a little bit.
12-year-old that like never
Yeah.
watched a single fucking episode of that show.
I know. Some guy who likes lollipops a whole hell of a lot took my name Kojak, so I had to change it to LLO Kojak.
That's weird.
Listen,
Yeah.
the new Mortal Kombat's coming out. I take any and all. April 23rd.
Yes.
Mine's just 3 smiley face emojis and a squirt.
That's a good one, though.
Lord Despot
Yeah.
was present in my presence.
Yes.
I did play the number one guy in the world before and beat him.
I saw you beat him. He was he playing as the Flash? Was that the guy, or was it the guy that played as Superman?
I think it was Superman.
or Superman.
Yeah,
I did see
Katana.
you beat the number one, but there was some other guy that was like 7th that you couldn't even score a shot
It was
on,
5th.
and you
couldn't-
could
couldn't
not
beat
even
the
get a shot.
Number
on him.
5 guy in the world, couldn't beat him for shit. That guy had my number. Number 1 guy in the world, no problem.
It was 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was 5.
I never got any hate mail other than when like we played Dark Souls together and we had the Gank Squad going,
Oh,
and then we'd get like people be like, "Oh, your little Gank Squad is gay," blah blah blah. It was
yeah.
like,
Sorry, we
it's
have
like,
the
why
best
are you
gangs-
invading then? Why are
we
you
have
invading?
the best gang squad on planet Earth. Stones, you ever played Dark Souls?
Nope.
At its,
Oh,
at
Lord.
its
You
core,
have
it's
to
a
jump us.
at its core, it's a
I've been
fighting
told
game.
by about 7 or 8 or 15,000 people that I
Least.
need to be on Dark Souls.
You
and
need
I
to be
just
on
don't
Dark
give a
Souls.
Shit.
It's the greatest game ever created by
Yeah,
mankind.
that's what I've heard.
They're kind of like
There's 2 things: chess, Dark Souls. That's the history of mankind.
Yeah, that's well.
Play chess.
Yes,
You be quiet, we.
Yeah, Dark Souls people are kind of like they're kind of like the I can't think of an analogy. They're like the people that like only like there's people that only like that game. They don't even play other games. There's like they have channels, YouTube channels, fight clubs, everything. It's just Dark Souls. If you play another game, you're like a poser. It's like having a hardcore punk band. That's what like they are. Dark
yeah, I
Souls
mean,
punk.
on the surface, it seems like a game that should attract me. I mean, it's got every element that, swords and demons and fucking, all that shit. Third person. I just look.
It's very
here's the
stressful,
bottom line.
too.
I'm married. I have kids. I'm like poor.
And
don't
you're
have-
playing that wrestling game from 1998.
Yes, dude.
It's
yes,
nonsense.
exactly.
You need to play Dark Souls.
Stress-free game.
No, it's not. Well, I wouldn't say it's stress free, but dude, I don't need to fucking like. You can create Winnie the Pooh. Have I mentioned that?
Yeah.
You can create
can-
Winnie the Pooh,
you can do
Sinbad.
that.
You can have Winnie the Pooh, Sinbad, Jason Voorhees, and Hulk Hogan in a 4-way fucking death match, and have them and like killing each other with chainsaws. Well, not chainsaws, but like barbed wire, landmines, and shit.
I've seen a guy weed whack somebody during a wrestling
I
match.
have a question.
And
Why?
it's like the
Video.
old school graphics, dude. There's something to be said for, and it's not just for nostalgia's sake. There's something about the old 2D setup that you just it's a different experience. Okay, like playing Street Fighter Alpha is a different experience than playing Mortal Kombat 11 or Street Fighter
Slow down.
17 or what. It's a different type of thing, and it's something that it's not as appreciated anymore. But I do feel like right now, whether it's Xbox Live Arcade, whether it's the PS4 network, whether there are a lot of indie games that cater to those old school, like Symphony of the Night, old Street Fighter 2 mentality, that old
Yeah, because there's
style.
a market
There's-
there.
Yes,
there's
there is a market there, and there's a market there
But
for a
it's
reason
a
because
niche
it's
market.
it's a niche market.
It's a
whatever you wanna
market.
say,
It is
but
a market,
it
and
is
people
there,
enjoy
and
it.
it's there for a reason.
I bought a Super NES because it's a fucking market
Yeah,
I
that's
enjoy.
You bought the
exactly.
digital
So why
one,
do you
but-
think that Super NES Classic and all these things exist? Because there are people that pine for those types of
They
games.
pine for their past.
Yes, not
yeah,
just
they
their past,
do.
though, but there are young people that never grew up on that shit that still like
That-
playing that. Stuff.
And I'm telling you firsthand from a person that has young people that bought it and said, here, put that in front of them and said, here, man, enjoy this. This is what I grew up on. It's the most amazing thing you're ever going to play. That lasted 2 days, done, fortnight.
Maybe
back
in
at
your
it.
case, but in my case, I have a almost 4-year-old son who will take Snoopy's Action Sports Adventure over any fucking 3D game you could put in front of him. He
Which
fucking
makes sense.
absolutely
Well, on my
loves
Switch,
it.
all I play is the old classics. I play
Yeah.
Tecmo Bowl. I play Super Mario Brothers. I play Super Mario Brothers 3. I play just all the old shit. You know how they got like Breath of the Wild? I have Breath of the Wild,
Breath of the Wild.
but it's
That's
not
awesome.
It's not really because it's their version of a new game, and I like the old shit, and I don't care for the frickin' like Mario Kart 8 though. I do like Mario Kart 8's Super Deluxe.
It's pretty cool. You left it at my house one
Any
day.
Mario
I played
Kart
the shit out of
game
that all
is
morning.
top. Like
Yeah.
that's a
I'll
top
play it for
genre.
hours.
Like
No, it's fun. It's a fun game.
Well,
They're all fun games.
I gotta be honest. Like, is one of the reasons I like Mario Kart. I'm a very average casual gamer, but when I play Mario Kart, like I win. Like I play online with people, I can actually win at that fucking game.
You know
And I
what
don't
it's
win at anything else.
Do you know what it's like to drive?
but let me
Well, I
appeal
drive-
to
yeah.
let me appeal
some
to
reason I can drive
Kojak's
well.
sensibilities real quick, though. I'm talking about these 2D games, these old school 2D games. When you break it down, when we're talking about these modern Mortal Kombat or Injustice games, they are essentially 2D games. Yes,
Yeah,
they have
for
3D
sure.
graphics, but they are set up and they perform as a 2D game. The newest Mortal Kombat still performs like
It
the
is.
fucking old Mortal Kombat,
Yep.
not that
It's
Quan Chi
reskinned.
introduction bullshit.
It's reskinned. It is a 2D game.
Exactly.
They
so
dumped. They did the old 3D shit and they dumped it because it was
there
garbage.
is a fucking market.
But you can
for
knock
that
somebody
shit.
up through a ceiling into another room. It's still 2D.
That's 2D, but that's
You
the
say
thing,
knocking
though.
somebody
It's-
up?
That's how you
Now we're speaking our
you
language.
kill people at
At
a
a
bar.
bar.
Play those fucking games, though, man. They're and that's the thing. Like we talk about Mario Kart, we talk about a lot of those Nintendo games. That's the one thing. The one good move Nintendo has made. They've always been on their own. They played the game on their own terms. Okay, so with the Switch, with the GameCube, they've always distanced themselves when it came time. When
They
it
never
was-
try to be the most
yeah,
powerful.
Once PlayStation and
Cutting edge.
Microsoft, Sony and Microsoft really showed up as the two key players in the console wars, Nintendo recognized that we have these two. It's not us versus Sega anymore. It's us versus this company versus that company, and we have Sony and Microsoft trying to cater toward the young male. And Nintendo recognized that and said, "Okay,
We're going to cater to the youngest
we
males
can
possible.
still but here's the thing. Yes, Nintendo was always about being a family company. However, the GameCube, I feel like, is one of the most the GameCube and the Sega Saturn are the two most underrated consoles of all fucking time.
I loved my GameCube, and I sold it.
And like, look,
Shouldn't
dude,
have.
the Resident Evil, the Resident Evil remake, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4, and I know I'm like harping on one specific, genre, or one specific game, but Nintendo was the ones. They were the ones who fucking like took that in and produced a game back in 2002 that still holds up today in 2019. Yes, they had a HD remaster, okay, for the 360, for the Xbox One, for the PS3, 4, whatever. But Nintendo has always, the point of what I'm trying to make is Nintendo has always done a phenomenal job of staying ahead of the curve and being different. Okay, so you've got the GameCube, which was different.
They
from
never
the PS2.
they never tried to be like the top graphics. They never tried to be like we have the prettiest games. It renders in 4K. They don't even care about that. Like that Switch I have there, it looks like a phone game. Most of it. It does. It's like a spruced up phone game, but you will play it. People love it. It's outselling everything right now.
Their focus is on fun.
It's a parent's game.
Not performance, not like what's the fucking, native 4K, this, that, and the other. It's about being different, unique, fun.
And and all the
They've
new,
done a phenomenal job with it.
The platforms really now are all splitting into a different. They're not really competitive with each other anymore because they're all doing a different thing. Microsoft is now a game service. The Game Pass is Netflix. It's Netflix. It's not, hey, we're Microsoft. We're trying to be just like Sony. We're going to duke it out with them. It's a different thing. They provide a service. Microsoft has the best online, the best service-oriented thing. PlayStation has really awesome single-player games.
I mean, if you want to
that also have a good look. Like the PC is like a hobbyist thing.
Yeah,
how people that like build cars, like they build a sedan isn't like interesting to them. They want to beef it up. They want to make a fucking muscle car out of it. But that's a PC.
What you're
guy.
saying though, actually, like realistically, with all these, it's the new religion. Everybody has their own religion. You're an Xbox guy. You're a PC guy. You're a Wii parent. Like most parents that buy Wiis, gamers buy Wiis. You always have a Wii. You have a PlayStation, Xbox.
Now the Switch is the Wii.
Well, you know what I mean.
I hear what you're saying, but I hear
you have.
They're not really the same thing anymore.
Yeah, I know.
You have people that separate though, and they diverge and say, "I'm only PlayStation. I'm only Xbox. I'm only Switch, Nintendo. I'm only PC." It's almost like the new
Switch
religion
seems
these
like
days.
what's the blood type that anybody can use with like O negative?
O negative.
Switch is like O negative. Any type of gamer will have a Switch. Like they could be a PC. I got a Switch too. I'm an Xbox. I got a Switch. Everybody can have a Switch with their flavor.
Most parents that don't
and that's
even,
the brilliance how you were talking.
you have parents
Stones,
don't even game that buy the Switch.
Exactly. And Stones was talking about how they want to be fun. They're different. They're like that's what the beauty of the Switch is. It's not. It's its own thing. It's like a hardcore PlayStation guy that only likes PlayStation will get a Switch.
Yeah,
they will get it.
Yeah,
and that's where they're surviving. Like because when we talk about
I got a Switch.
YouTube or Google or whatever, we talk about Red Dead. We started this podcast talking about Red Dead 2. Okay, and when we talk about Red Dead 2, we're talking about PlayStation or Xbox or PC. It's really the trifecta, fucking thing.
Yeah,
right?
religion.
So PC. Nobody. I don't think anybody would deny that. If you got a high-end PC, it's always going to be the tits version,
yeah,
right?
It's going to be the best.
So
yeah.
fuck, that's kind of not even. It's not even part of the conversation, right?
The One X has
always,
the best. A Red Dead version because they don't do PC games or they delay it for a year.
like
when we
ancient
talk
Rome,
about
the rich
consoles
people-
and
the
we
rich
talk
people
about the
have the
console
top.
wars, we're talking about Sony versus Microsoft. Those are the two competitors. Nintendo,
And they're not
they
really
were
competitors
wise
anymore.
enough to understand, you know what? We don't need to be involved in this war. We can exist on our own wave, and they bring us games that neither of the other two companies
They
are bringing
placate to our childhood, and we pass that childhood on to our children, which
But-
is not a bad thing. I'm not
No,
saying it's a bad
it's
thing.
not
but
at
they do-
all. And
they placate to our childhood.
they
do
bring
the
a different
same-
experience than the other
same
two.
games we grew up with as children.
When you guys leave, I'm playing Super Mario Brothers till I pass out drunk. I'm telling you that right now. I'm
Let's
gonna go.
travel back 20 to almost 30 years at this point. We've got 4 of us sitting in this room right now. Some of us had a Sega Genesis.
I did.
Some of
Yes.
us had a Super Nintendo.
Yes.
No. I had a Genesis.
There's 3 Genesis guys.
Did
in
you have a
this
Super?
room.
No, it was What happened to your
No,
mic?
no, we're not going Dreamcast. We're not talking about teenagers. We're talking
I thought-
about.
I don't know if it broke. I don't.
He broke it.
Nobody had a Sega like Master System. Like very
No.
few people had that.
Our cousin did.
Nobody had a ColecoVision. I had a ColecoVision.
Keith.
Yeah.
I used to play Smurfs.
Most of us had Nintendo. Most of us had
Yes.
Nintendo. Right? So there's no debate in terms of the 8-bit technology who won that
Oh,
fucking
I
war.
had a regular Punch
But there's
Out,
a
all of
real
it.
debate amongst 16-bit technology. We have
Yeah.
Super Nintendo fanboys and we have Sega Genesis fanboys.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I'm getting at here.
You know,
That's
the
where
funny
the
thing, back
whole debate starts.
Back then, I
Then
didn't care.
Super Nintendo
No.
and Sega Genesis, and a lot of people did care, though.
I had 'em
certainly
all.
Did.
Did you?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, I would just go to over to a buddy's and I would play the Super Nintendo. It was
all right,
just
so
so
everybody's
good.
a Genesis guy here, eh?
Well, it's just yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I had a Genesis is because it had the blood option on Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, that's a
I had
fucking-
Genesis because of Mortal Kombat.
That is that's exactly where I was navigating.
and
toward.
Sonic.
did-
Sonic was legit.
Sonic was.
was legit.
Sonic
I did
was
think
legit.
the Super Nintendo version looked better.
No.
Looked
no,
better,
it was
sounded better,
terrible.
performed better.
But-
Everything
No.
about Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo was far better than the Genesis, other than the fucking
I want to,
blood.
for the
Blood.
record, I completely disagree.
You couldn't
That,
kill
then you
anybody.
can go on record as being fucking wrong on an objective level. There is no comparison between the sound card between the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. There's no
Other than
comparison
the
between
blood
frame
and
rate.
fatalities.
There's no comparison between the fucking graphics.
Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat because
Yes.
of fucking
a
fatality.
game,
Blood
a game that
fatalities.
prides itself on blood and fatalities.
Yeah, went to
So
Super.
you have the
take
Neanderthals
this
who only
conversation.
care about fatalities, and then you have the purists
yes,
who actually care
yes,
about gameplay and
13-year-old me
quality.
liked blood
And
and
I got to
gore,
go take
yeah.
a piss. I think I already won this fucking argument.
I want.
so give me
I
one.
watched
a minute, and I'll be
fucking-
back.
Yeah, like you didn't fucking watch Faces of Death too. Yeah, like, yeah, like that's
didn't-
the whole point.
You never beat a monkey's brains out to eat them.
Yeah. Did you guys know that stuff was like a work? It's fake. A lot of it was fake. I'm reading that.
Of course it was. Of course it was. You're not buying murder. You're not buying murder porn at fucking Blockbuster.
I just thought it was like. All right, so Stones is definitely in favor of the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat, even though it doesn't have the murder. We like the murder.
I'm in favor of the Super Nintendo version of any game when it comes, except for one. There
Did
was
they have
Which
like,
one?
Did they have a lot of multi-plat games? And I don't remember a bunch.
No, there was one. Okay, so any game that was released for both systems, both consoles, Super Nintendo always, in my opinion, had the edge. However, when Beavis and Butthead got released,
Oh, yeah.
okay, there was two different games. It wasn't like two different versions of the same
That
game.
one I did not
The
own.
Super Nintendo version of the Super Nintendo Beavis and Butthead game paled in comparison to the Sega Genesis Beavis and Butthead game. I mean, I can't get into great detail because it's been so long since I played it. But they were two totally separate games, and I don't remember if they were both made by Activision or whomever. You know what I mean? I think they were probably both made by two different companies. But there were certain licenses that the Genesis just had the edge on, and I think that Sonic the Hedgehog is. I mean, I guess it depends on your mood.
He was the original Lord of the Rings, even though Tolkien wrote that book in the 30s.
Nerd. Nerd.
Well, he wrote that book like in the 1910s. Or something.
Sega. Here's the
Trenches
thing.
of
Let's
World
just talk
War
about.
One.
The guy that made Sonic the Hedgehog was 155 years old.
Listen.
He was before
We're
Tolkien.
talking. Pine. What do you got to say about that?
No, he wrote.
No, he did
Was
not.
it the 50s?
That's not true.
I thought he wrote. So I thought he came up with the.
No, I don't want to bet, but we have the power of Google.
We don't.
Tolkien clearly wrote. He wrote The Hobbit in the trenches of World War One.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
true.
kind of right.
It ain't.
No. Now it is.
There you are.
What the hell?
Oh, every time
That's
I
why.
turn my switch off.
God
your switch
doesn't
off.
want to hear your
Turn it off.
nonsense. He cut your mic off.
Why? That's so
with your
weird.
nonsense.
Please don't
speak.
turn your switch off because you guys are on
So,
the same channel.
He thought of the book in the trenches of World
my
War
mic-
One.
Yes, and then he published it
controlling.
25
so this
years
whole
later.
fucking podcast has been
I'm trying to
Coming on
save you
your
guys
Switch.
I'm trying to save you guys from background.
You are
noise,
not
and I'm
getting
cutting
paid for
mine
this
off.
now.
Yeah.
You know, to be fair, we plugged your other one. It didn't have a switch.
To
it
be
was-
fair.
it was failing.
Oh, well,
Nobody
whatever.
watches. Please
Well,
don't
I'll
do
leave.
that.
I'll leave the mic on.
None
Thank
of these
you.
people listen to Letterkenny.
Every time you went to talk, Brian, it was just like,
Yeah.
I'm cutting Brian off every time. I'm trying to be the nice guy.
His name is
And
Pine.
cutting off my mic so he doesn't get any fucking excess noise. And all
Well,
the
to be
while
fair,
not
you have
editing anymore.
way more to say than I do.
There's no point.
So
we're just
Anyway, we're
I'm not editing
we're
more.
getting
We're
off
gonna fuck
track.
hookers. We're gonna film it. We're just do whatever here.
Let's just say this about Sega. I do want to.
Give me your computer so I can look up back page. We're getting this
Lest
party
anybody
started.
think that I don't have love for Sega. I think that Sega is one of the,
games.
they push boundaries. They always they were an arcade company. Okay, like I think that's where they really excelled. You had the Virtua Fighter games. You had the Daytona USA games. You had Sega Super GT. You had all these massive arcade hits back in the mid to late 90s that Sega was just on top of. And Sega was always trying to push the boundaries. And
So
always
what you're
trying to
saying is
be
Sega's
innovative.
better?
Yes, absolutely. Well, Sega and Nintendo have both been in kind of the same market. They've always tried to do
I wonder
their
if they
own
had like
thing.
bar fights because they're from the same town.
Yeah,
It's like
so
it's little 5'3" Japanese guys. Like
No, Nintendo's
Hey, man.
not having bar fights.
they
They
Nintendo
can't handle blood.
just-
That's why they killed all the blood
outperformed
from other
Sega.
games.
Like if they crack, they fucking hey Sega's here, and they crack fucking
But look,
Nintendo guys. in the
Sega was
head.
always first. They wanted
Speaking
to be
of crack,
first to the
Sega's
punch.
like, yeah, let's have
Always.
some crack, make a video game, we'll fight it out.
Think about the 32X. Think about the Sega Saturn.
You
Think
lose
about
a few
Sega
pounds.
CD. They were always trying to fucking be first to the mark, and I think maybe their big fault was that they were a little too hasty.
Sir,
in
you're
a lot of
assuming they
their
had a
efforts.
fault.
What's that?
You're
not
assuming they
talking about
had a
just-
fault.
he's talking about the company in general, Sega. He's right.
I mean, well, they
The
They were
Genesis was
always
better.
first to the mark.
Don't
They
get me
were
wrong.
always they were the first ones to release a CD-ROM type thing on a console. They
The
were the
Sega
first
CD.
ones to release a 32-bit system. They were the first ones that, they were always first to the punch, but the problem was that then like Sony would come along and like
Did you
outshine
guys
them,
ever
or-
see the story on like what happened when the PlayStation was launching? They knew that Nintendo was kicking everyone's fucking ass. Like Nintendo was just kicking the shit out of everybody, and like Sony said, "We're building a console. Why don't you guys come on over with us? We'll merge and we'll put our brains together, and we'll take these motherfuckers out." And Sony hadn't launched a PlayStation 1, okay? And they
it
were
was supposed
all,
to be a Nintendo console.
and they had don't hit the switch. Stop hitting the switch.
I got a bad habit. We should just switch to my mic that doesn't have the switch.
All right. It would be the
Speaking of
most
switch.
boring podcast forever, but I'm going to have just Pine here from now on.
I'm sorry, you guys.
just gonna
I
have
have
it
a
like
bad
that.
habit of cutting off. I have the one mic that has an on-off.
Don't
button,
turn the switch up.
and,
Just don't touch it.
I'm used to
Nobody touched
Okay,
the
but
switch.
I'll tell you the
Nintendo
next
sucks. Don't
podcast.
touch the switch.
We're going to all have the same mic. We're going to have that mic and that mic. All four of us. That's how
Gotcha.
We're going to have.
How did I end up being a quiet one?
I know, but anyways, so the story of the PlayStation 1, the Sega guys thought these guys ain't gonna do shit. They don't know gaming. They're not gonna do anything. Fuck them. And now what is PS4? 100 million units sold or
Oh,
some
God, yeah.
shit. Sega literally thought like that they don't have what it takes. Fucking we ain't gonna do it. Fuck, we'll beat Nintendo on our own. Yeah.
You're not beating Nintendo.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You're never
Wrong.
beating Nintendo.
Wrong.
And Bill Gates' fucking nerd ass comes along and actually beat them one generation, not this one, but they beat him, I think, because of Halo. Halo alone.
Yeah.
Halo.
It's a good game.
Halo.
and the
Halo.
I don't mean to cut you
Online
off.
engagement.
Halo, I agree.
The whole
Halo.
the network on the 360 was superior to the PS3. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
There's two thoughts here. Galo or Gears of War?
Well, we were Gears players, but Halo is the thing that put.
It put children on the map.
Like I never liked Halo. First of all, I
I
never
never
it
liked Halo
at all.
either.
No.
I never played.
Halo
it.
was an
I
awful
played
game.
probably, honestly, a grand total of 8 hours because we played Halo 3 together. Remember that the
Yeah.
campaign?
Yeah.
That's it. I'm
It
not a
was
Halo
shit.
guy.
It
Gears
was-
of War.
Yeah.
And me and Stones were talking about this many times. Like, remember when they remastered Gears?
Yeah, this is
It
an
lost
incredible
its,
game.
It lost its grit.
But
Yeah,
no,
well,
it
totally
was an
did.
incredible
Had the
game.
grit.
Yep.
You can never get back to the grit because it was a childhood thing. It wasn't the grit. The
We
game.
were
the-
kids. We were 30 years old.
Yeah, we were 30. Gears of War came out in like 2006, dude. We were all like 30.
Frick, I already had chest pains by the time Gears of War came out.
I had 2 kids. I get it, but it was still Gears. We were young. We were young. That's over 10 years ago.
I'm on the same page. Like, I never gave a shit about Halo, but the original Gears of War was. I mean, when you go and play that campaign, it's still a gorgeous game to me. Like, it still holds up on the same level that I was talking about Resident Evil, like the remake for the GameCube. It's a similar thing. We are generations beyond it now, and it still looks amazing. Now, I'm not playing on like a 4K TV or anything like that. Like, I started to fall out of favor with Gears series when it got too polished, too shiny, too
Exactly.
Well, Gears 2 had too much shit. Like
I liked Gears 2 and I like Gears 3. But I
had
never played Gears 4 yet. Like I
No,
don't know.
but like-
or was the one Judgment?
But
That was another one.
Gears
that
of
was
War.
like 3.5. What?
yes,
Wasn't it Gears
exactly,
Judgment?
Yes.
Yeah, Gears of War, the first Gears of War, I liken it to like its power chords. It just was like 3 basic power chords. It really worked.
Yeah.
You had basic weapons. Then the part 2 though they implemented more weapons. It was still fun. And then part 3, they have like too much shit going on. You know, I like
Yeah.
the first one. It was like you go out there with a sniper rifle, you go out there with your shotgun, and you do work.
Now, maybe I'm wrong.
Major
maybe
work.
the 3 of you guys can tell me. I'm a huge fan of like the survival horror genre, right? And that's why I talked about Resident Evil
I'm not,
earlier in the
but go
podcast, right?
ahead.
So to me, the first Gears
Yeah.
had elements
I do.
of
I love
it.
Dead
It was
Space.
definitely not. It was an action game, third-person shooter, but it had
Jump scares.
elements of that, like horror. Like when you like, if you come out of the light, what were those creatures? The krill, or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. So like
Krill. No, Krill. Yeah.
yeah. So like that element lent itself to me to there was a bit of that horror, influence there. It was
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and I appreciated that. And that's one of the things that really and what was the Retchers, right? Like you first
Wretches.
encountered it, Wretches,
Wretches, yeah.
whatever. So yeah, like there was those spooky or not spooky, but like just like there were horror elements to that
It
game.
Oh,
was
I
a
agree,
horror
yeah.
element game, and those aspects were fun.
You had to shoot
Yeah,
propane tanks.
It
was
wasn't
cool.
really horror, though.
No.
You want to get in the horror, you're talking Resident Evil,
Yeah,
or you're
absolutely.
talking Dead Space.
Dead Space,
Space was
Outlast,
an incredible game.
Silent Hill, the first one.
I've never played
Silent
Dead
Hill
Space.
was fun.
The first Silent Hill scared the crap out of me.
dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
Silent Hill was-
the
Silent Hill's
Silent
pretty
Hill
dirty.
1, 2, 3. Oh my god,
Yeah, Silent Hill's pretty dirty.
that's right on the heels of Resident Evil in
I
terms
can't-
of survival horror kings.
Now, Stones, I can't think of another game outside of Resident Evil, Dead Space, or Silent Hill that gave you the creeps.
Outlast.
Outlast.
I've never played Outlast.
I haven't either. It's
Can't
it's,
fight.
It's on
There's
Game
no weapons.
Pass.
You have to run.
Yeah.
Manhunt. I mean, there
Did
are
you say
plenty.
run?
You basically
Yeah,
got to
you
escape.
Fuck,
run.
I'm out.
Like, that's all you can do is you hide and you run. Like you can't even fight.
By the way,
How the hell can you not fight? That ruins it. It's a
You're
game.
trying to escape an insane asylum. Okay,
So here,
there's
I'm
no
trying to get out of my house.
You don't get to fight. You
With
have
us
to survive. Manhunt, going back to like the early 2000s. I mean, there are plenty of games that are terrifying, but
try
Silent
to be
Hill and
terrifying.
Resident Evil have
Yeah.
always kind of had a lock on survival horror in terms of being the innovators.
Dead Space is pretty good.
Absolutely belongs in the ranks. Yes, absolutely.
I'm terrified of Metroid.
But I still think I still feel that
Samus, scary.
that the original Capcom with Resident
gotta
Evil
rely
and
on a
then,
woman to save
Yeah,
us, come on.
Resident Evil's
Wait,
Resident Evil's a star.
Samus
It's
was a woman?
trendsetter.
they were
Spoilers!
the quintessential. Now, of course, you go back, and that's the thing. And I talked about this in the last video that I put out regarding Resident Evil 2. Now, Resident Evil came out in, 1996? 1996, I
Yeah,
believe it was.
probably.
That came out during my gaming gap where I
And
stopped.
at the time, I was
Those in
16 years
bands and
old,
shit.
and
Quit doing things, Lord Dustbin.
it was scary. But the voice acting, you go back and look at it today, the voice acting, the graphics, everything is so
Yeah,
poor.
we got to give it credit, though,
You
at the time.
cannot immerse yourself in that game. Now, in 2002, goes back to what I was saying earlier about Nintendo being fucking king, is they fucking put the fucking remake out for that game and made it. I swear to God, you plug in your GameCube with Resident Evil 1 remake, it still holds up
Yeah,
today.
there's
Now,
no
granted,
doubt.
you
Resident
have
Evil-
the fucking
Resident Evil
HD
was a
remaster for the
boss.
360, all that, but that original game is the survival horror masterpiece, and I still feel like the remake for that game is the best in the series. Now we're talking about
I like the
Resident
Borderlands games for as far as holding they hold up still.
Yeah, but they do
Sure,
hold up. They're
sure.
a very well game. Very fucking. I just got
They
into
are
them
well
recently
game.
a couple years ago.
Because they use that
They're very well
they
put
use that art
together
style
game.
that ages. It's almost cartoonish, so it's like it ages. And Stones, Pine, you guys never played Borderlands. I'm telling you
I
guys,
dabbled in it.
you gotta play it full through. They have the best characters as far as goofiness in terms of just sheer slapstick.
Are they cool like Fortnite characters?
Yeah,
All right, cool. I'm
they're
in.
Get your
slapstick-
vagina
they're
out of
slap-
here, Pine.
They're slapstick like funny. They have a slapstick like it has a slapstick.
Wait,
humor
you said
to it.
Fortnite. That means I can ground you. You're grounded.
Yeah, you're grounded. If you take Fortnite away from kids, they'll kill themselves.
You have no
Yeah.
idea. I take
You'll find
sheer.
them dangling in a
I
loft
take
somewhere
sheer
if you take-
pleasure in walking in the house and being like, Logan, time to get off. I'm home. But can I have 5 more kills? And I hit the turn off button on the Xbox, and you would
You hear the
think
screech.
you would think I
Like a
murdered his
velociraptor?
dreams and hopes because he screams, "Ah, what are you doing? It's so terrible."
Because only an evil person would do such a
He's
thing.
like, "You're the worst dad ever. I can't believe I had 4 kills to go. I would have been in 15th place."
If my kid
Now,
came home and had
coming
a bad
from a
grade,
number 1 Mortal Kombat player, my child yells at me, I might have been in 15th place. I'm disappointed.
if my kid came home with a bad grade or failed every class, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But if I came home and they're playing Fortnite, I'm like, you're fucking grounded.
you got to ground them for even liking Fortnite.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
you
one of
gotta
my
let-
friends
you gotta
played
play-
Fortnite.
You gotta let them have their. I mean, that's what their friends are doing.
See, Dark Souls is where you got to lead the kids.
Couple
Listen,
of my friends
these
are playing
children are
Fortnite.
not
You're
ready for
grounded by.
Dark
You're
Souls.
guilty by
Look,
association.
if you even say Dark Souls in front of Pine, he might piss on your couch.
Yeah, I'm scared of it.
Dark Souls. When I hear my nephew in that room there, I'll hear frickin' Xanis. We'll call him because that's his gamer tag. I'll hear Xanis throwing shit,
Yeah.
getting mad, but he plays it. He toughs it out.
Oh, was he playing Dark Souls?
He played 1, 2, and 3 and beat them
Oh, fuck
alone
yeah.
because he's antisocial.
Fuck yeah.
So they beat him all alone.
That's
Damn.
how you do things.
Now I played the first Dark Souls. Here's this thing. Here's what I want you to do, Stones, because this is what I did.
Yeah.
You can't get him
It's
to
on,
do that.
It's on. You can play it on backwards compatibility, or you can get the remake.
Stones,
the
play
remaster.
number 3. Don't listen to him.
But you
play
play
number
you play
3.
the first one and you beat it alone because when Xbox Live put it out as a free game. Okay,
You'll
they-
never get that video
they
game
put it out as a
respect.
free game, and I fucking played that game. And I'm a casual gamer. I'm not somebody that plays thousands of hours. I play from 10 to 11 at night when I
You'd
go
be
to bed.
better if you did.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I don't have the coordination. but anyway, so I got into this game and played it during summer. I wasn't going out outside. It was nice. And I beat that game alone because no one was playing it. They put it out as a free game and no one was fucking playing it. I would get no summon help, nothing. And I beat that fucking game. That is my greatest gaming accomplishment. I beat Dark Souls alone. I'm not the worst gamer I know because I did that. I'm only bad. I'm not the worst. I'm only bad.
You're in the upper 75% realm.
Yeah.
Well, if you beat Dark Souls alone,
The first
there,
one.
there are most people that hear that and shudder. Like, I'm never going to play that, and they'll make us some excuse how they're not good enough to play it, whatever. They're just hiding from it.
People, all 3 of you who are listening to this, if I can beat that fucking game alone, you can beat it alone. Because I suck.
He's lying.
If you can beat it, if I can beat it, you can beat it.
That
That's all I'm
game
saying.
came out in 2001, and it was 2014 when he finally beat it.
2011. It
Shut
came out
up.
the same
I'm
year
making a
as
joke.
Skyrim.
You shut the fuck up.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Well,
that.
it got obscured. It got obscured
Because there
by
was
Skyrim,
only,
but it also became the punk rock. Like, okay, everybody was into Skyrim, but here's this Dark Souls game.
Skyrim was
which
a
what all us
great
badasses play, and that's
There's
what,
a reason
But
that
I
people
didn't
are
get
into
it.
Skyrim.
I didn't get into it.
Skyrim was a great game, but when they finally realized that Dark Souls was the best game that ever fucking mattered,
It's good.
it's the best game
I
that ever
still
fucking
feel like
mattered.
Skyrim. There's one area.
Yeah.
that game takes the cake on above any and all other games, and it's the soundtrack.
It does have a great soundtrack.
It is. I
Double
still
They-
feel
they
like
all do.
Skyrim has the best soundtrack amongst any game in any genre in any age. It's just.
I think
You have
and-
Dova-
Any of the other Scrolls games have really killer soundtracks. It's a fact.
I
But
want a
Skyrim takes the
Skyrim
cake.
job when I'm listening to Dovahkiin. Dovahkiin. Da-da-da.
I had a guy who
Far
I
Horizons,
worked with,
Far Horizons. That's
a
the
guy I
one you
worked
wanna
with who
look
would listen to the Morrowind soundtrack all the time. It was
Well,
crazy.
The thing is though with Bethesda, they had like an infallible reputation, but after Fallout 76, Fallout
Yeah.
4 was good, but it wasn't great. They gotta do something.
They
gotta
really need to pick it up because
gotta do
76
something.
looks like jack shit.
And now they're panicking and rushing Elder Scrolls 6. They're like,
Yeah.
Bethesda.
everybody were like, dude, don't rush that game out. Do not rush Elder Scrolls 6 out. Don't do it.
Nope.
Lord
You need to take
Deathspit.
another 2 years to figure out where the fuck they went wrong. Because
You need a new
Fallout
game engine.
76
That's an
was
outdated
just
game engine. I'm sorry.
I am telling you from personal choice, there was two choices: Red Dead Redemption, Fallout 76.
That's not a choice.
I bought Fallout 76.
Well,
yeah,
Very
and
terrible
that,
choice.
that-
but day
I was
one
a
you didn't
terrible
know that,
fucking choice.
I knew that before day one.
did you?
I could have told you that fucking fucking Rockstar was going to beat Bethesda.
Oh, I mean, I would have
Easily.
picked if I had the money to buy either one. I would have bought Red Dead Redemption 2
put it
anyways.
this way:
but
I knew Rockstar would win out. I knew it was, but I didn't know that 76 was going to be a total shit show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you got to admit it, Stones. There was no implication that Bethesda would lay a total egg. It just wouldn't be what Red Dead was.
I had the gut feeling, and it's only a gut feeling, that from what I saw from the previews, I could see when Red Dead started teasing their game, when Rockstar started teasing their game, and when Bethesda started teasing their game, it's like, okay, one of these things is not like the other. One of these looks like a groundbreaking fucking like next gen level shit, and the other one looked like the last game I just played, but with
I
a
lie
little bit of a
here
twist.
as a broken man
So-
that chose Fallout 76.
I remember, like, in my gaming crew, and by the way, I love Fisticles and I love frickin' Deadstone. If you guys are listening, I love you guys. But you guys, like, held on too long. You guys held
They
on
did.
too fucking long. You're like,
Dead-
hey, you got to come over here and play. And I actually, they reduced the price, and I bought the game knowing I shouldn't. I played for a day and went right back to Red Dead.
It was
I went, like,
as a video gamer that plays a complete different genre of every game out there. I played that game and I enjoyed it because I forced myself to enjoy it with my friends. It's an awful there was no fucking point. There's nothing good happening. There's no antagonist. You're just walking around aimlessly hoping
Well,
that somebody doesn't drop a nuke on you.
well, we have to give, like, they're going for the, like, their point is, like, the people, the guys playing.
Yeah.
You're the content. That's an MMO. None of us here are MMO players.
It was
None of us
garbage. It wasn't even a
none
good
of us
MMO.
None of us will ever be an MMO player. MMOs are bland, tasteless, odorless bullshit.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I've tried.
Don't be fucking sorry. It was garbage.
The only game that I played that has MMO qualities that I enjoyed is Destiny. Destiny has MMO quality.
Destiny.
But they incorporated a story, and everyone shits on Destiny because the MMO guys don't like the RPG elements. The RPG guys don't like the MMO. In reality, Destiny was I don't care what anyone fucking says.
Destiny's the most well-made game ever in that genre.
Destiny is the greatest game
But it's
ever
its own
made.
genre.
It's ever made in terms of combining those two worlds. People like me that like Skyrim and maybe an occasional shooter, and then people that like World of Warcraft. It combined them, and it did as good a job as they possibly could, and they just got all kinds of shit. There's nothing to shit on them about. They did.
No, everything's done
They did
right.
what they could with two types of players. Fallout tried it. What happened to them?
Garbage.
Red Dead Online. Tried it. What's happening? It sucks. I'm sorry. I
haven't
love
played
Red Dead.
online
The
yet.
game.
I haven't played it on yet.
Red
I
Dead.
can't
The
call it
game
garbage.
story is top 5 game ever. But the fucking the online element sucks. Nobody does fucking online right. I'm sorry.
Well, Lord
Destiny
Despot
does a better job.
Where I think Lord Despot, where I think Destiny went completely wrong was they tried to microtransaction their entire fucking gaming system.
Yeah, they did.
Their entire gaming community.
Buy silver, buy gold.
Yeah, buy this, buy
Everything
that.
fucking turned into.
You went and bought a fucking $60 goddamn game. You finish it in 3 weeks, and then a month later they want you to spend another $40.
I want people out
to
there
go
to
even
understand.
more.
These guys that I play with finished it in 3 weeks. Not me. This is not the hard line guy.
I finished it in 2 weeks.
Well, and the weird thing is, like, as good as like you our crew was, and you guys were.
Yeah,
more
we raid,
But there's
we complete raids.
But there's guys that were doing that raid like on the 3rd day.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you that good? How do you do that?
I don't know. We were kind of doing it.
Well, you weren't doing it on the 3rd day. You can't bullshit me.
No, 3 of us were. The rest of us couldn't
No,
catch
you were
up.
not.
Okay, well, that's why we.
Were you
sucked.
really?
Oh yeah,
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Were you really?
absolutely.
No,
We couldn't get the rest
you
of
weren't.
them. We couldn't get the rest of them to catch up because
Fine,
you can't.
speaking the truth.
You have to dedicate.
I saw
6
you.
people. Do you understand how it's hard it is to dedicate 6 people to like dedicate every day of your life to play Destiny and then go into a raid? It's not easy.
Well, the funny thing is, I would play 10, 12 hours of Destiny a week, and these dudes would be like, "Hey, Mike, man, you need to play with us more." I'm
Well,
like,
you're
I can't
answer-
do 10 or-
You're answering your own question. You've seen us, like the only like 3 of us. I was already at like what 600.
Well,
in
you
a couple
stoned
weeks.
Fist played a lot. Tommy was really good. That's his actual name.
Yeah.
Gamer tag, and then Poop.
We
guy,
did
gamer
raids.
tag's name's Poop.
We
Yeah,
did
yeah.
raids right away, no problem, and completed them. It's just that you cannot keep your solid base of friends on Destiny because they keep charging. They keep charging more. And most people
Yeah.
are like, "Fuck that, I'm out." You know what? It was fun. I bought the game. I did it. but
Destiny 1 was a riot.
it was great.
It was a fucking riot. I don't care. Like, I thought nothing would ever touch the Gears of War vibe. It didn't. It wasn't as good as Gears of War vibe.
yeah,
but it
nothing
touched,
much can be.
But it touched it. It touched
It did.
It groped it.
And I was
Like
such
Bill Cosby, it got a feel.
I was
Yeah.
such a maniac for it that we did. I mean, my whole thing was beating the raid. I didn't care about anything else. Beat the raid. So I went in there and playing Destiny. The whole goal was to beat the raid because that's all that mattered at that point.
Yeah.
You had to be a badass. You beat the raid. And
Iron
we beat
Banner,
every
where I'd get
raid there
fucking
was.
lit up so
Destiny
bad.
1 smoked the raids. The first day they came out, give us a week, we had the raid beat. We did that constantly with every fucking Destiny raid they put out. Destiny 2 came out, we started out that way. Then they started going to, hey, let's pay for more stuff. Let's pay for this. Hey,
Yeah.
here's
They
the
went
new
to micros.
season. Here's another
I
$40
hate
you want to
that.
dump on our $60 game that you already paid for. Now you want to beat this raid? Here's going to cost you $40 more bucks. Some of us paid, I paid, but not the whole raid group, which is a problem now because you're 6 people you've had playing the whole game.
Yeah.
Not all of them are all in for, $40 on top of that. So you lose your raid group, you lose your team. Then that's
by
where
the time the
Destiny's-
next season came out, it was just like I bought it just because I buy everything, and I'm a what do you call it, a sucker, I guess. And I bought and I played with you guys, but we lost half our guys.
Yeah.
our clan. We had a solid clan of 20 to what 25
Yeah, about 20,
people.
23, 24, something like that.
But everybody played.
Yeah.
And so like me and you would try to buddy up because we are IRL buddies, but if you're like, hey dude, I'm in a raid, I'm with these, I had another 18 guys like I could roll with
and
easily.
and bringing us to our point.
But those guys were
that's-
all gone, and we were down to like 6.
Yeah, but that's bringing us to our point. The fall of Destiny was the fact that, hey, you needed 6 dedicated players to jump in a raid, and sorry, you can't get 6 dedicated friends of yours to dump $40 on a game that they've already finished. They're going to spend $40 more on a fucking raid?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Most people
Doesn't.
said it doesn't make sense. Now, my dumb ass paid the money and just waited for everybody else. But not everybody's as retarded as me. So I had to buy them.
Retarded or dedicated?
I remember before flat screens though. Another
Rededicated.
segue, you had the X top. Remember that?
Yeah. That was
It was like a 20-inch screen. It was flat before anybody had a flat screen.
it was a computer monitor.
I know about 20
That was your
inches.
X top. I thought it was called an X top.
No, I just called it that. All I did
We
was hook
should
up.
have fucking sent that. Bill Gates would have made money off the X top.
I could have. I thought I explained it back then, but yeah, no, I just took my computer monitor and hooked it up to the Xbox with
Shows
the
you what
VGA
I
cable.
know.
And that was it.
Quit
Had a
trying to
VGA to-
innovate things, Pine.
Oh, I just didn't have a small TV to bring with me to your get together. That's all.
Stones literally passed the fuck out on my.
We
couch.
wore him out.
Take a picture of that. That's going on the page.
We're going to edit your face.
Yeah, you can blotch the face out. That's fine. Well, he's a public personality, so he doesn't care if you know what he looks like. Stones Malone passed out on my couch. He's just gone. See, the thing is, we brought up about Sega being better than Super Nintendo. And he just,
Shut down.
All I know is
Body just quit.
I preferred the Genesis to Super Nintendo. He might be right about the
so we had all
graphics,
all
but
these problems.
Genesis does what Nintendo don't. It's a fact.
We had all these problems with ours because he kept hitting that switch.
I know.
I can't yell at him like I can Kojak.
I can't wait to listen to this later. I can't wait to listen
Me
to
and
this later.
Kojak treat each other
and
like shit,
and
but I can't do it
completely-
to anybody else. If
Be like, I'm going to listen to the first hour and
it
be
was
like,
you, I'd be like, get out!
Oh, you don't pass out during this.
You're banned here forever.
I dedicated my time and effort into this, and you're over here drooling on your fucking titties.
My legions of fans across my family can't hear this.
I'm going to
It's
listen
your
to
fault.
I can't believe our 6 people that actually like this page have had enough of you.
I'm looking forward to listening to at least the first hour of this when I can't hear myself at all.
Good job, Pine. That's why we tell you. We tell you to buy a video game system
You'll
so
pick.
you
You
can catch up.
won't hear me through my mic. You hear me. You pick me up through that
He
mic.
He
and
just
that
saved
mic.
me $400 though.
Yeah,
Because I was like, I'm buying a digital Carter. That's it. I've had it.
investment. I'm doing it.
I thought you got Geico.
I still need to do that, but I'm being dead serious. I'm going to get those mics.
You'll be dead
Those are $20.
soon.
I'm getting 4 of
I don't know about
those.
serious.
So
4 of those
same mics.
6-foot cables, and we're gonna fucking set it right here. and we're
Why?
gonna sit around it
Why?
Sounds great.
because it's all even, and then I don't have to worry about anything.
You ain't got to
Yeah.
worry about nothing now.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, somebody accidentally hits the switch.
Somebody kept at the switch all night. Last week you were saying people's names. Now he's doing it. I got to worry about a lot.
Listen, you need to buy some more.
I'm going to figure out something I can do next week to ruin
medication,
everything.
Blood pressure medication.
I'm going to stroke out.
You are. I'm going to say the word
My
like.
eyes are running. I can't,
You ever met
my
Justin
fucking-
Kern? You're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die right here.
I don't care. You know what? I'm not editing anything anyone says ever
About
again.
damn time. You
Yeah,
don't need to.
no.
You
edit.
guys can say whatever the fuck you want. I'm not editing shit.
It's raw. It's
I, don't
I
care.
like-
You
I
can
like
fucking
new-
say my social security. I'm putting it on there.
I'll just say I like New Jersey hookers.
Oh, I do too. I never ran across one, but whatever.
What you gotta do is when you're in the hotel over in New Jersey, you know how you have the little latch on the top of the door that you flip over and you flip it over the lock.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta take your
Wait,
washcloth.
let me write this down.
You gotta take the washcloth from the bathroom. Hey, what are you writing down?
Tell us the washcloth story.
Take the
Yeah.
washcloth. You put it over the lock, the latch, and then you put the latch in front of the door so it doesn't shut all the way. So it hits the latch first, kind of thing. But that washcloth is there, so all the hookers come walking by, and whenever they see that, they go, "Okay, the white washcloth. This is the room I can go in." And they come right in, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? How much money you got?" And I don't know this. I'm just saying.
You
this is
explained
what
the whole
I've-
thing.
This is what I've heard.
Then you use that same washcloth
To clean up.
wash the cum off her tits.
Whoa,
No.
we're just you're assuming, sir. That
Hey,
we're
we're
just-
not editing anything anymore.
You're
I'm just gonna tell you what, you know.
you're assuming that we're coming.
Yeah.
Now, when her friend comes in,
Oh, there you go.
I'm just saying, that's what I heard one time from a New Jersey mafia guy. He was like, hey, if you take the washcloth from the bathroom, the white one, you throw it over the latch and throw it in front of the door. And you don't close the door all the way because you can't because the latch is in the way at that point. And the washcloth's over there, and the hookers come walking by, and they know what room to come in.
Well, there you go.
No
I've
pun
seen this shit
intended.
on Netflix. I don't really
But
know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. You told me the myth about New Jersey where you can't pump your own gas.
Yeah, that's not a myth.
No, I know. I saw it on the news.
There's
you're doing
nothing
work-
in New Jersey you pump by yourself. Trust me. With the right washcloth or the right amount of tip.
They pump it for you.
Yeah, everything in New
You
Jersey
pump your
getting
gas
pumped.
tank, your dick.
You don't
all
pump
of it gets
anything
pumped
yourself
away.
in New Jersey. It's all getting pumped for you.
Stones Malone's passed way the fuck out.
He's so passed out.
So we're going to wrap it up here in a second. You should have wrapped it up in New Jersey, I hope. I really hope you did.
Listen, Sarah,
hookers.
there are fucking shots for that now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Getting
Yeah.
AIDS is kind of hard now. Remember this big thing, everything.
Yeah, but
everybody
if you get AIDS, I mean, it's 50-50 shot. Whatever.
Well, you still... Magic Johnson's alive. He got AIDS when we were in
Yeah,
fucking
the cure for
junior
AIDS is
high.
$125,000.
Yeah, no, it's been 28
He's
years.
still around. You can fight it. You
Listen,
gotta,
just because you fuck a whore,
go ahead, say it.
just because you sleep with a lady of the night, does not mean you're getting AIDS. Doesn't mean
Okay.
you're getting AIDS automatically. I mean,
no,
you might
AIDS-
get AIDS.
I think AIDS are the least of your worries with
Yes,
that.
right,
It's the other
right.
diseases.
You might get shot by a pimp.
well, that too.
You put the mouth to work. That's what you do on them.
Clearly, you put your mouth right down there and go to town.
Yeah. Their mouth, not
Their
your
mouth, I think he meant. But I
meant-
the way he said, yeah.
Oh, did I
gotcha.
do that wrong?
You can do whatever the hell you want.
Is this why I have this
As long
cough?
as you got a good immune system.
I can't. I
long as
can't
you
help
got
this. I've had this cough since New Jersey. I can't figure it
I
out.
thought you had really full lips. Maybe
Okay.
it's just the herpes.
So now we figured out what went wrong with the podcast. We know next week, no click mic.
next week we'll hang a white cloth over your door. Everything will be
What?
fine.
Yeah. I still couldn't get laid. Even with the white cloth, they'd still reject me. I'm telling you. they'd still,
Well, Stones is passed out. He's open game.
yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't my type.
Hey, a mouth's a mouth.
No. It won't work. That's a form of incest for me.
Yeah.
But, all right, we're done. Radio Underground. I'm not going to edit this at all. This was a mess. We had
This is
We
a
had-
great mess.
I think he had very cohesive
this is a great mess.
arguments and
well,
he
talked he talked more than any of us until he passed out.
That's what I'm saying. Now we're kind of struggling. We're like, yeah, fucking
Struggling.
hookers.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
not
We have
struggling.
New Jersey hookers. Are you
I could
fucking
go.
crazy?
I could talk for another hour.
I
If
know.
you
No, you
want.
can't.
Yes.
I can.
Oh yeah. What do you want to talk about?
All right.
Well,
Okay. First
Fine.
off, we'll talk about
Hall and Oates. There we go. No, that's the end of it.
Hall and Oates
If we start
call.
talking about Hall and Oates, it's over.
the Hall and Oates hotline.
Call and Oates.
Calling Oates.
we had an incredible video game discussion.
Yeah.
It's going to go down the annals of history as the best,
The anals.
The
anals
biggest fucking New
of
Jersey.
the greatest video game talk ever. But after that,
We went to New Jersey hookers right
it's
away.
It's whitewash cloths.
White washcloths, hookers, people.
Pumping gas.
Things that we have done on the road. Now, I've been on the road. Have you been on the road?
Within the state.
No. We're talking about like New York City, New Jersey, Philadelphia, where
No.
shit really gets dirty.
No.
No.
When you, oh god, I will
Now up there on
coming
Up
to
here
you
that-
next time.
no the little Groesbeck strip there. There's some nice hotels.
Yeah, nice burned down
You
place.
can
where-
get some. You can get some
that
service. from a
dude
nice young
literally
lady.
chained
Sure.
his parents to the bed.
Yeah.
Oh
Pink
yeah, yeah, yeah.
flamingo.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the guy that did that?
Yeah, he chained his parents to the bed so we can run a
He's my
brothel.
hero.
I mean, brothel's being nice, but a brothel. So he chained his parents to the bed, who they both had.
Why did he have to chain his parents to the bed to run a
Because they had
brothel?
dementia, and they just shit on themselves all day.
Yeah. So he did it
But he
basically.
couldn't like put him in a home with the brothel money.
No, listen. Lord Despot, Pine, We would do things like that. We would spend our brothel
We
money
have decency.
on our parents and put them in a home. We wouldn't spend our hooker money
Wait,
on things
But
like
he,
that.
but he did like every family that owns a hotel, like the closest room to the fucking
Not every.
office,
It's
you
every
put the family in
it's-
there.
No. It's every family that has a Bravo series or an A&E series.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He chained his parents to a bed and let them shit themselves, and he fed them like mashed potatoes or whatever the fuck he did.
see, I wouldn't feed them mashed potatoes. I'd just make them shit more.
You could feed them their shit too.
Ew.
So he's the chain your parents to the bed pimp.
He's the worst human being you could imagine.
I could chain you guys to a bed and make you shit on yourselves.
Not again.
Yeah. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chain myself to the bed in a minute.
Gonna chain myself
Fucking
to
tired.
something.
All right, Radio Underground. I would have Stones give out his social media.
Stones, let's hear it from you.
Stones Malone on YouTube.